Hi, and welcome to another conversation that matters. And to me, this is probably my cornerstone, probably my most favorite conversation in the whole world, which is how to be yourself, how to love yourself, love your life. And this is something that I have been basing every single biggest decision of my life on. This is something that I have been out there looking for most of my life. And yeah, something that I really, really wish for myself and for everybody else that I encounter, which is to really be comfortable in your own skin, to really accept and truly cherish who you are, who I am. And yeah, the way we are raised, the way I see it, it's mission impossible sometimes. And why I say this is ever since I was little, and that's probably an experience that many of you share, there was always something that was wrong with me. There was always some way in which I wasn't okay, in which I wasn't enough. And actually, the way I was raised and the way I was treated for most of my life was I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, it's just not okay to be me. And that's the story of my life. It's not okay to be me. And it's interesting how that can be a fuel for so many things. What I mean is, it really pushed me to have success in my life. It really pushed me to, go out and prove things. Prove that I'm worthy, prove that I'm smart, prove that I'm independent and don't need anybody else to take care of my needs, which is kind of a positive, but it also caused a lot of pain because that was the story of my life with everybody in my life, this underlying feeling of it's not okay to be me. That's probably why I chose to make myself an introvert, even though, ironically, in a conversation with others and being with others is where I feel so much joy and so much energy. And yeah, because of all the judgments and because of all the ways in which I wasn't good or wasn't good enough for something or somebody, I chose to isolate myself. I chose to set myself apart. I chose to make it my life's experience that I do not belong, that I'm different, nobody understands me, and everybody judges me. Everybody talks about me, but nobody wants to talk to me. And all the subsequent experiences of I'm not heard, I'm not supported, I'm just not, you know? And that's also partially how I have been using self-development in a way, which again, by itself, it's a really good thing. It's really great to grow yourself and really push your boundaries. But in some ways, I've used growth as a way to get away from how I am right now. Just this idea I need to change and I need to be a different person the next month and the next year. And when I look back, I don't even recognize myself. That was just running away, because if I ever stopped, if I ever stayed the same way for too long, this feeling would come back of it's not okay to be me. I need to keep moving in a way. And it's exhausting. It's painful. It's painful to not be okay with who you are. And a friend of mine, she brought up a really interesting conversation, which was the things that we truly are, like our biggest talents, our biggest gifts, are usually the things that we resist the most, the things that we try to run away from the most. And that's probably true. For a lot of people that I see out there, the biggest difference that they make in other people's lives actually comes from some kind of suffering, some kind of accident or struggle that they've experienced. And through a strength of character, through a will to live, they've actually turned this around and are out there doing some really beautiful work. And so I'm pretty sure there's something there. And for me, the things I've run away from the most, things I've made most wrong about myself, have been starting with my voice, my character, that I have this gentle and soft and kind of rounded way of being, whereas a lot of people around me have all these edges, like edges in their shape of their face, edges in how they talk to each other, edges and sharp edges and how they work, very straight lines. And I felt totally out of place trying to look like them and be more like them. I've heard so many times in my life that I'm too quiet, I need to speak up, or I need to be more expressive and more, do sports and like sports. And I couldn't care less, because my energy, as I've learning to accept, is actually calm and quiet, more inwards, more who am I in a place of this, and soothing and comforting. And if you think of it, if I can be around people and with people with the soothing and calm way of being, there's a lot of people that actually find relief in it, find ease in it, and find, in a way, a permission to take a moment and be calm for a little bit and then go back to whatever they were doing. And this has been a journey for me to start to love my voice and start to speak more, express myself more with what I actually truly am and what I actually truly can bring to the table, and not try to always adjust myself and fix myself because other people are doing it a bit differently or very differently. And that's not to say that I don't like people that have high energy or edges. I do appreciate them too, but only when they also make space for my roundedness, for my flow. And it has been a journey for me to really separate this. What is the thing that comes really naturally for me? What is the way in which I would do things if nobody else was judging and nobody else was watching, and nobody else told me to do it differently, versus how am I being because I'm afraid, because I don't trust people to be accepting of who I am. I don't feel safe around people because they tend to come up with ways in which I need to change something, or I need to be less of me. And what I really want to make clear, just a side note, what you're definitely not and what I'm definitely not is fear. That leads to paralysis sometimes, to running away. You are not your upsets, you are not your resentments, you are not mean. Those are just those are just the things that we come up with basically to keep ourselves safe. And let's see, being resigned, being helpless and hopeless. And you're also not a victim. You're not a loser. You're not. And then the reason why I tell these things is because it's so easy to buy into that. It's so easy when you are by yourself and the thoughts start coming in your head to start thinking that. But those are the things that are put in you by judgments, by suppression, by oppression. And what I'm aiming for, what I'm looking for and inviting you into is to look beyond that. Look beyond your fear. Look beyond your upsets. Look beyond your insecurities and go beyond the not enoughness and find this little dot, this little light, this little piece of joy inside of yourself where you do feel you are enough, you are amazing, and it's okay to be you. It's okay to be me, and it's okay to be you. Yeah, I'm really, really curious. How do you actually see it for yourself? Would you actually be willing to do some detective work maybe and see what are the things that you're telling yourself you should be less of or should be more of, or that it's not okay because this person told you this, or yeah, a way that you allow yourself to be when you're all by yourself and you wouldn't allow if you were with somebody else who's maybe more critical and maybe more dominant. Yeah, basically what I'm wondering about is who would you be and what would you be like if you would really allow yourself the things that your heart is really craving to be, do, and have. And would you be willing to go a whole day just being yourself? And even one step further, would you be willing to do that for somebody else in your life, for all the people in your life, just for a whole day, for a whole entire day? No judgments, no change making, no changing others. Simply being, simply listening to your heart's desire and simply allowing the natural way in which you are and other people around you are. So yeah, this was a conversation that mattered.